Jamie Carragher, man. Jamie Carragher. I thought you were better than this. I thought you were going to surprise everyone. I was wrong. Actually, I was right. I knew what you were going to do. Everyone knew what you were going to do. This was your chance to prove everyone wrong. On Monday night, you could have came out with objective analysis. You could have came out and really just been balanced, and you could have just said, hey, Salah's like everyone else. Salah needs to earn his place in the squad. These are the statistics. These are the facts. This is why Salah isn't being picked, and this is why he should have been dropped. And if he came out like that, a lot of people would have probably supported Jamie Carragher, but lo and behold, he didn't do that. Jamie Carragher, that attack that you did, that rant, that venting that you did for TV, it was superb, but really for Mohamed Salah and what you said, I am disgusted by what I just saw essentially, because some of the things you said were personal jabs and personal jibes at Mohamed Salah. Let's be honest, like, what have you said on Monday night where it was like, in terms of analysis, in terms of facts and statistics, which we seen you do in the past? Where was that on Monday night? Where was it? And for you to come and apologize the next day, especially in the Champions League show that you do, knows that you messed up badly, because a lot of people have been cussing you out. Now, don't get me wrong, Mohamed Salah, that interview, if we look at it objectively, he was wrong for doing that interview. Not what he said, but for speaking to the media and for talking about Liverpool Football Club in that way, when he should have done it behind closed doors or with his agent. I mean, I don't know, maybe there were things that built up to that point, but you can argue that it was wrong to do, and that's just me trying to be as objective and as balanced as I possibly can be. But for people to come out and slate Mohamed Salah, and especially in social media, and these pundits and ex-players, like, a lot of you need to get a grip. Honestly, this guy is one of the greatest Premier League players to have ever touched the Premier League, and I'm an Arsenal fan saying this, and that is me just seeing what I've been able to witness from Liverpool and Salah, and he's done a remarkable job, and that is something that Liverpool fans are going to remember pretty much for the rest of their lives. But anyhow, enough about that. Let's look at some of Jamie Carragher's comments. Some of the things that guy has said has been bang out of order. I mean, why is it, let's go for starters, right? Why is it that every single pundit love talking about a player's wages? Oh, he's earned hundreds of Ks a week, he's earned 400, 300, so much money. Brother, that's football now. So many players are earning so much money. It's not their fault you didn't get that level of money in the past. Football evolved, more sponsorships, more deals, people are getting money now. What do you expect? Especially if we're going to talk about Mo Salah. If there's anyone in that Liverpool team that does deserve that sort of money, bar maybe Virgil van Dijk, and I don't know, I'm not sure if I can even include that in this conversation, then it is Mo Salah. The statistics speak for themselves, and especially with the trophies. So that argument in itself was absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, you could probably say that interview was disgraceful or whatever, but what was the point of coming in and talking about Isaac and Wirtz and talking about how Salah needs to be more selfless and pass them the ball because they're not on form? Brother, they're both £100 million players. They're both players, especially Isak. He's a guy that came from Newcastle, won them their first trophy in God knows how long, one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League. I've seen the brother play. If there's anyone that needs to get a goal and get confidence, it should be from himself. I mean, for God's sake, like, I don't know what the hell's happened to him ever since he's come to Liverpool, but he doesn't look like, he looks like a shadow of the player he was last season. And especially with Florian Wirtz, this is a guy that played in Germany and he was undefeated there for a league. So what, can't he do a bit of magic himself and find a goal himself to do? And then if we're talking about Salah, and I will give people this, right, Salah is a selfish player, and we know this especially with Sadio Mane and some of the stuff that happened between them, and the fact they didn't pass and this, that, and all of that sort of stuff. I agree with that, but how is it that so many people have such short memories, especially last season when he was about to beat the assist record? He was about to beat De Bruyne's assist record, and he had 10 games to do it, and the other forward players that he had couldn't score at all. and essentially Salah was stuck with that, and he still got 18 assists last season. So for people to say that he was selfish and all this sort of stuff, I kind of get it, but I don't. At the end of the day, he's not a selfish player, and at the end of the day, in terms of the players of his sort of quality, whether you look at the strikers of the past like Van Nistelrooy or Kane, or if you look at even Mohamed Salah even now, these are players that as a striker you have to be selfish, you have to be in front of goal, you have to just take it. Even Ronaldo and whatever, like all these guys are selfish in front of goal, and that's part of their charm, that's part of them being a striker, because they look to get goals no matter what, good, bad, whatever. But in terms of whatever you may think, that's how they are, so you just have to expect it. If you can handle Salah scoring all those goals and winning trophies for whatever, you can handle him being a little bit selfish in that regard, or selfish, and let's just call it out. So you can be selfish if he's doing all that for you, because that's what he's done over the last 8 years, and it's worked. It's helped Liverpool immensely, especially with everything they were able to achieve. And I think the one thing that I will talk about Jamie Carragher, and I think this is the most damning thing that I've really seen, was saying that he was a Chelsea reject, and the fact that like if for Egypt he wasn't able to do anything. Like, who the hell are you to talk about what he's done for his national team or not? I mean, we all know what your thoughts are about AFCON because we've seen what you said on Sky Sports previously, but for you to try and diminish what he's done for his national team is pathetic. I mean, what was the need or the point to talk about his time at Chelsea or Egypt, especially for somebody who hasn't really done great for England, hasn't won any trophies for England? So you and Salah are on the same boat, so I don't know why you want to talk. And on top of that, especially for Chelsea, him being a reject, he was a young player at the time, and if we're going to apply that same logic to him, are we going to say that about Kevin De Bruyne as well? Are we going to downplay and disregard and disrespect everything that he's done in the past just because he failed at Chelsea? Are we going to apply that same metric? If we're going to apply that same metric, fine, but if not, then that was bang out of order and you shouldn't have said that. And how is it that people have such short memories? I want to guys take you back on memory lane. When Salah left Chelsea, he went to Fiorentina, and then he went to Roma, and when he went to Roma he scored 15 goals in 31 games. He was doing really well over there, and he was done so well that before he went to Liverpool, he got the African Player of the Year for 2017, and that was prior to him joining Liverpool Football Club. So it wasn't like they were getting some joke player, or like he just came from Chelsea and they just spent 40 million out of nowhere. No, he was doing really well. Liverpool identified him and they got him, and then in the first season he literally scored 40 goals or whatever it was. He broke the record for in the Premier League, which was a madness. So that in itself was utterly pathetic. And for him to come in and say that, oh yeah, he owes Liverpool this and that, dude, after 8 years of service for your club, what does he owe you? He doesn't owe you jack. He gave you your best years in so long, in 30 years. He gave you more, and I'm going to say this to Liverpool fans, I know they're going to get rattled, but he gave you more than your biggest legends like Steven Gerrard, Carragher, Torres, Suarez, Hippier, all these guys, like McAllister, what was that guy, McAllister, Owen. Like, this guy Salah is one of your best ever Liverpool players. You can put him along the likes of Hansen, of what's his name, Kenny Dalglish, and Steven Gerrard. He's on that list, and he might be arguably maybe on the top 3 or top 1 on that list due to everything that he's done. 250 goals, 2 Premier Leagues. This team did not get a Premier League in 30 years, and he's helped Liverpool get 2. Last season he backpacked Liverpool and helped them win with what it was, 29 goals in 38 games or something like that in the Premier League. That is ridiculous. In 18 assists, this guy has literally helped Liverpool out so much. Okay, you may not like what he said in his interview, that's fine, but to come here and slate him off, to disrespect his legacy, to say that he hasn't done anything for his international team, especially for Egypt, because when he came into the international team at the time when he first joined, it wasn't in a great position, but he helped them progress and get them to the World Cup, which was a very big thing, and he helped him get to finals in AFCON. Alright, he didn't win it, but he still like managed to do quite well in that regard. So, and especially at Chelsea, look, players flop at certain clubs. Griezmann didn't do great at Barcelona, but then when he went back to Atletico Madrid, he was able to do well. Like, these things happen. You don't do well in one team, you join another team and you do really well there. It happens to a lot of players. And for Jamie Carragher to come out with these comments and then apologize later on was absolutely hilarious, especially when the presenter caught Jamie Carragher when he said that, oh yeah, like didn't you say that his legs were spent a couple weeks ago? And I think that a lot of this is an agenda towards Salah. I think this was something that was been growing since last season about him forcing a move from him to Saudi Arabia. I think this is something that was in the works. I think that Salah was outspoken on certain political topics, which I won't dive into too much. But I think if you saw what I saw, especially on Twitter or X or whatever, then you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. But I think these were all of the things that were in the pipeline for Salah, and I hope, I don't know, as an Arsenal fan, if he goes, if he stays, it doesn't make much of a difference to me. I hope he goes because I won't have to see him like for Liverpool, and it will be not a really great thing for them because he is a very quality player. But to see the level of disrespect that Salah's getting, and especially as I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm looking at this objectively, it's like some of you Liverpool fans need to be ashamed of yourself, and especially these pundits and whatever. I mean, to disregard his legacy like that, it's actually shameful. But anyhow, that's my thoughts on the whole Jamie Carragher personal fiasco that's going on with Mohamed Salah. For television purposes, it was very entertaining. I gotta be honest with you. It's a big like laughing session, especially from an Arsenal fan to Liverpool. But just looking at it from a humanitarian perspective and just being objective as possible, some of the things that's happening, especially with Mo Salah, especially some of the comments being made by other journalists, pundits, people, whatever we want to say, has not been very good in my opinion. But what can I say, man? Like, if you've seen a guy dominate for 8 years and suddenly he's on the down or he's off form, then obviously like there are a lot of people that are going to come out and attack him for whatever reason. But anyhow, that's my thoughts on this video. What are your thoughts? Please let me know. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.